right, we're going to give it a minute just to kick off.
Wow.
And there it is. We're there. We're there. Boys,
Good
we're
Lord.
there.
Good Lord, that's a lot of live time.
And welcome on in, everybody. Episode 63 of the Garage Beers podcast, coming at you live tonight on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. And if you're watching us live, get involved. Join us. Make some comments. We're here for you. But as always, coming at you on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. Go check out Belly Up Sports. Check out some of the other shows on the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network. It's just a good time being part of that network. With you, as always, I'm your host, Michael Keefe. You can find me online at Garage Beers Mike. And with me, as always, over on the east side of Cleveland, sitting outside once again, it's Chad Meyer at Garage Beers. Chad, what up, Chad?
Hi.
Hi.
Listen, I had to lean back because this is the first time that people are seeing my stupid face say hi.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. Boys, I'm on a new diet trend right now. I'm all over it. It's caused me to lose. I've lost probably 7 or 8 pounds right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that all in the head or
only 600 more to go?
No, yeah, right. It's called starving yourself. The starving yourself diet.
Don't do that.
I'm eating bird seed and popcorn, but it's working. It's working.
Look at our buddy Chris Golian.
Look at that guy.
With out at WEOL. Nice to see you live, Chris. Nice to see you. And then this one. Look at these boys figuring it out. Listen, if you only knew.
no idea.
If you only knew what this was like trying to figure out this live streaming stuff. If you're going to listen to this later, we're live streaming for the first time on StreamYard with the Belly Up Podcast Network. This took me all day to figure out what on earth I was doing. So hopefully this figuring it out thing lasts.
I made a joke alluding to if you can't figure out how to get on Twitch, then ask your grandson or granddaughter. And it probably took us just as long to figure it out.
Listen, my kid's he's a little far off from having a grandkid or from having a kid for me having a grandkid. But man, I feel like it sometimes with technology. So Chad's outside. Look at his ugly face while I introduce Joe down there in Nashville, Tennessee. Go find him at Garage Beers. Joe, what's up, Joe?
I'm as good as can be. I'm out of the whole house, the HOLE, not the entire house, but the literal whole house.
Not the entirety of the house, but also that.
Yeah, so I'm in good spirits. I mean, not to bring up our softball team again, but we lost 28-2 yesterday, and so I'm still kind of mentally recovering from that. I might have had 5 errors, but you know what? I'm normally in the outfield, and they stuck me at the hot corner in a playoff game, and I wasn't ready for the speed. So that's my bad.
Joe going on year 3 of waiting for an outfield assist. We are waiting for it to happen.
Yeah. We'll get it. Summer league starts in 2 weeks, so there'll be plenty of opportunities for me to mess up then.
What is that movie? Hey, Joey, cut off man. Learn to love him.
Oh, learn to love him. I was going to say you can also that could be Field of Dreams, or not be Field of Dreams, A League of Their Own.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Evelyn, you failed to hit. You're cut off, man.
Are you crying?
I love it. Well, we got an awesome episode coming at you here. If you're watching us live, wherever you are, it's going to be a great time. We've got the second annual Garage Beers Mock NFL Draft, which is going to be awesome. We're going to see just how stupid we can make ourselves look. But we've also got, before we get to that, I think we'll probably end up with Indians talk before we get to that. And we got to get to our Garage Beers of the Week. So let's get into it. And we will open it up with our Garage Beers of the Week, our favorite segment of the week. And Chad, why don't you kick us off with our first ever live stream Garage Beer of the Week?
Well, I told you guys I'm on a diet trend now, so I'm really drinking my dinner. So here we go. This is from Dogfish Head. It's the Slightly Mighty Local IPA. Boom. Look at that. There it is right there.
Oh, we can show people now. It's fantastic.
Look at that can design. Wait. Oh, God. You got to get used to this camera. Look at that can design, everybody.
Yeah, how about that?
These are off-center IPAs. I mean, it's actually a tolerable one. If anybody hasn't listened to the podcast yet, I'm not a huge fan of IPAs, but I deal with them. It's not
God,
tasty.
you're so stupid.
What are you talking about? I
deal with them.
I am smart, and everybody likes. Okay.
Yeah, don't even.
But yeah, it's a low-cal IPA. Like I said, 95 calories, 3.5 carbs. Come on.
What could go wrong with that?
What better way to drink your dinner and lose weight at the same time? Huh?
It's like you're drinking the Atkins diet.
Yeah.
All right. Chad's going healthy, which I guess we'll promote on the Garage Beers podcast, although I don't know if I like it. Joey, down in Nashville, what are you drinking for your Garage Beer of the week?
I decided to take a step out of the local breweries. Ooh. And, some weeks just call for something you can handle a lot of. Throwing back to the college days here.
If you don't kick this off with a shot of Fireball, I don't even know what we're doing here.
I can go I got one more. We'll get one later. We'll do it when the draft starts. We're going just up to Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we're doing a little classic PBR.
Oh,
it's great. I got like 6 of them in the fridge. I figure I'll have like 4 of them on the show. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna get a little weird later. Let's go.
Let's get weird, guys. Let's get weird.
Not? It's our first live stream. We might as well.
Yeah. What could go wrong?
Weird. I love it. All right, so Joe with the classic PBR, and you'll probably see a Fireball appearance at some point. And I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it local here, and I got a cool one. Joe, your parents, if you haven't been following my saga, we sold our house. We're waiting on our new house, so we are currently living with the in-laws, who are also Joe's parents. And Joe, your parents have a neighbor, the Edwards, that they are awesome. So they went out to dinner. AJ and Susan and Anna. They went out to dinner, and every time they do something and they find a cool beer, they bring back a 6-pack for the podcast, which I just love. So the Edwards surprised me with a 6-pack, and I love this one. It's a restaurant, actually, Boss Chicken and Beer here in Cleveland. And they've got a couple locations, but there was a big story about them. They were on like Channel 3 News. They the lady that owns it had to closed down a couple of the restaurants because of COVID, and she was only able to keep one going and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, her restaurant is still going. They went to Boss Chicken Beer, and they have a special beer that they did with Sibling Revelry over here in Westlake. So it is the Boss Chicken Beer Pecan Brown Ale.
Ooh.
And it looks like that.
God,
it's not from Twin Oaks Brewing, but it looks like that. And it's delicious. I mean, it's heavy. It's a big, heavy pecan brown ale, but it's a little sweet, a little smoky. It is delicious. So
perfect to go with all that sushi you smashed right beforehand. You're gonna feel like 400 pounds. You're gonna feel like 400 pounds by the end of this episode. You're gonna feel like 400 pounds.
It's like an aquarium crime scene over here with all this old sushi containers laying around that I didn't even have time to get up and throw out. So anyways, we got Dogfish had a low-cal beer for Chad. We got a classic PBR for Joe, and I've got the Boss Chicken and Beer from Sibling Revelry and Boss Chicken and Beer. And those are our Garage Beers of the week. Let us know what you're drinking. If you're watching us on the live stream tonight, let us know what you're drinking. If not, if you're listening to this, get onto our socials. Tell us what your Garage Beers are. Give us some suggestions. We're always looking to go find some new beers to try. So those are our Garage Beers of the week. I hope you're enjoying yours. Cheers to you guys on the podcast. And cheers to you, everybody out there.
We can actually cheers people now, too.
Yeah.
Woo, crazy.
Now it all makes sense. It all makes sense.
It's coming together. It feels like a real show.
Well, I don't know. It's not going that far. All right, so let's start. We're going to get in. The highlight of this show is that the boys and I have done extensive and thorough research, probably more than last week's guest, Benjamin Albright.
Definitely.
In the NFL draft, because ladies and gentlemen, right here in Cleveland, starting tomorrow is the NFL draft. So we're gonna have the second annual Garage Beers podcast NFL draft. We're gonna pick all the way up to the Browns pick. So get excited for that, and we're gonna see who does the best. Last year's champion was Joey. Certainly stole the show last year, but we only had to go to pick 10 last year because that's where the Browns picked. This year we got to go all the way to 26, and we're going to do that. But before we get to that, Joe and I have had some banter, and I had to pause it.
Oh yeah,
because I think it needs to happen here instead of over our text messages.
You're back on this thing, goddamn.
So Joe, yeah, I've been waiting for like 3 days for this. I've been waiting for like 3 days for you to
Man.
I've been waiting for 3 days for you to make your case. So we're going to talk about the Cleveland Indians a little bit, who, by the way, even though they got beat today, had a great series against the Minnesota Twins, won 2 out of 3 from the Twins. And in many ways, today's loss could be a little bit of a blessing because that's probably the last Logan Allen sighting we're going to see for a little bit. And he does not have it figured out yet. So that's probably not a bad thing. But anyways, Joe, let's start. What's your beef with me, man? What's your beef? What do we got to sort out?
Oh, no, I didn't have any beef with you.
Well, no, just Indians beef.
Indians beef. I just said that they were the most dominant team in the Central of the 2010s.
They won 3 Central titles.
Right.
3.
Yes.
This many.
Yep. 3.
Or this many. You could do this many. They won 3 Central titles. Dominant as they were not.
They were. And here's a couple of reasons why. One, they won 3 Central titles, but they actually tied any other team in the AL Central for the most amount of playoff berths in the 2010s.
Okay.
Which is 4. They didn't make the furthest in the playoffs. That would definitely go to the Tigers in the top half of the 2010s, which is easily forgotten at this point.
Wait.
What? The Tigers.
The Indians made it as far in the playoffs as anybody.
No, the Tigers won.
The Tigers did not.
Oh, they didn't win.
They did not win the World Series.
What else? It was the record. I think they won 80 more games than anyone else has won in the 2010s.
I can't.
Why? What else do you want? You have playoff berths. You have more wins. You have the best pitching of the decade.
It's been a good run, but this is what where Indians apologists are right now, right? Because that's what you have to be right now. And even me, I find myself being an Indians apologist. But where you have to be right now, if you're an Indians apologist, is all you're talking about. Yeah, but look what they did. Look what they did. They were so good. They were good from 2016 until 2018. And they were good. They were really good those 3 years. They were really good those 3 years. They were okay other years. They were really good those 3 years. And again, they didn't win anything. People do this all the time. They'll be like, well, guess which team has the most wins in the American League in that span? I don't give a shit. The Indians could have won 125 games a year. They only got out of the divisional round 1 time.
I mean, what else? What else would you call dominant then?
Win.
Okay.
You're not dominant. You're not dominant. First of all, dominant. If you want the word dominant,
yeah.
Okay, they'd be dominant if they won 7 or 8 straight AL Central titles. That's a decade of dominance.
But they're the dominant team in the Central over that.
No, they're like tied. They're like tied. The Tigers were the same thing earlier. The Tigers were the same. The Twins are the same thing now. No, they're not this year. not so far this year. But it's just, again, I'm not trying to badmouth the Indians per se, but the conversation of yeah, but look at what they did. They didn't do anything. They had a decent run. It was decent. Nobody's going to remember the Indians. The only people that remember the 90s Indians are Indians fans. If you go up to a Yankees fan and be like, oh man, those 90s Indians, they're going to be like, oh yeah, they were pretty good back then. That's how that conversation is going to go for this era in 10 years. Oh yeah, I guess they were pretty good.
I don't think anyone's saying that about the 90s Indians.
Yes, they are
pretty good.
Yes, they are. People, we here in Cleveland remember that team because it was the best team that we have seen. Most of us in our lifetime had ever seen. Most people in their lifetime that are from Cleveland, that's the best team they've ever seen. That 90s era team. So we remember them oh my God, they were amazing. They were good. But other people in other places don't talk about the 90s Indians.
I think you'd be hard pressed to find a team in the 2010s that was as dominant as the Indians were.
A team? What do you mean a team? Anywhere?
Yeah.
The Giants.
Yeah, the Giants, Cardinals, and then
how many World Series?
The Giants had 3.
Yeah, the City Royals went to 2 World Series.
Yeah.
What?
We went to 1.
Go ahead, Chad.
That's a specific conversation, though. Like if you're talking, like why would anybody in New York bring up like, oh, those '90s Indians teams were great, unless you're talking about, say, like one of the most underrated, like best lineups of all time. Then you could bring up the '90s Indians. Like you're not gonna like. I mean, I guess unless they won those World Series, yeah, sure, they would bring them up. But like, if you're going to talk about that, that's a very specific topic because of how awesome that lineup was.
To me, it's just overboard celebration of decent results. Overboard celebration of decent results. Look at what they've done. Like, especially the people that want to critique people who critique the Indians, right? People will be like, how could Indians fans, oh my, why aren't they filling the stadium? And why aren't they doing this? And why aren't they doing that? A, their PR has been awful. And B,
well, I'm not talking about
they have not done as much
attendance.
Yeah, but they haven't won enough. They haven't won anything that warrants you to be like, you got to be filling that stadium. Like,
that team could be 162 every year and back-to-back World Series champions, and that stadium's not getting filled.
Yes, it would.
No,
there's just no faith. The reason nobody talks about this because people think it's like too obvious or whatever. The only reason that stadium doesn't sell more than it does is because people have no faith in the team, starting from the owner. That is the reason. When your owner comes out and says, enjoy your favorite player, like while he's here, you better enjoy him while he lasts. People don't go buy tickets for that. Yeah, people don't want to spend their money for that.
And I think there's something to that. You know, I've mentioned it before that it's very hard when you know that you only have a finite amount of time with these players before there's absolutely no chance that you're gonna sign your homegrown talent. There's no chance you're gonna be getting rid of them here shortly. And it's coupled with the fact that when the Indians are close, like for 2017, when it got out of the divisional round and they needed X, Y, and Z, the Indians aren't going to go out and get that. They're just going to keep it status quo. So like, it's like the book is out on this ownership and on this front office, and you feel like that they're only going to make it so far. It's almost like lightning in a bottle has to catch, like in 2016 when they came, a run away from winning the World Series. So. Yeah, I definitely think there's something to that from at least this ownership group, because people know what to expect from the Indians. They do.
Yeah, it's fair. Again, I think Joe, you're the optimist. I went and listened to last week's show, and it was all about, the Indians are going to be better. This is how they start. They start slow and they get better. Again, at some point that's going to run out. At some point, when you gut the team of talent, and
maybe,
well, it will. When you gut the team of talent, at some point that's going to run out. It's not Tito. It isn't Tito starting slow. It isn't Tito who's going to speed the team up. It's the talent of the team, and at some point, it isn't the talent of the team's going to run lower enough to where that boost isn't going to come. Is that this year? I don't know, because I think there are some infusions of talent that are going to happen, but. Again, that whole past conversation, well, look what they've done. Nothing.
I mean, they've done a couple of things.
They've done a couple of things. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's so angry about it.
You know who they are? Who they are? They're a worse version of the Atlanta Hawks. When LeBron was in Cleveland, the Atlanta Hawks would be killer regular season teams every year. They were awesome. They'd get to the playoffs. Boom, high hopes. Whether it was the first time around and it was like Josh Smith and that group, or the second time around and it was Kyle Korver and Al Horford and that group. No matter what, the Atlanta Hawks killing the regular season. If you go to the NBA and look at like regular season wins, the Atlanta Hawks, they're going to be up there. What happened in the playoffs?
Are the Milwaukee Bucks an elite team?
No, they haven't won anything.
Okay. There you go. That was the right answer to keep your argument going.
No,
but they definitely are. I mean, I don't know. I think you get so caught up in like the end goal, but like you still have 6 months of baseball where you can be elite. Like you don't have to be. I know, obviously you want the pennants, you want the championships, you want the World Series title, but like. You got 6 months of baseball. Like if you're dominant for all of that, and then you have like I guess when it counts, you don't win. But like, I don't know. It's kind of lame to like not be dominant for the regular season.
But okay,
that counts for something.
There's what the Indians have done very successfully is build a winning culture with the franchise and with the organization.
Right, which is why your argument about the owner makes no sense. Makes zero sense.
No, they've done it literally.
They made a winning culture. They put a team on the field that's winning, that is contending for a title for the past 5 years.
In spite of his action. In spite of his action.
Yeah.
In spite of him, they've done that. So,
right.
Yeah. No,
I'm just saying, because of that, there's no reason that people can't go back. Like the stands argument, just push that out. That doesn't make any sense.
You can credit them for building a winning culture and doing what they need to do in the circumstances they have. I give them credit for that. But where I get lost is when people talk about their accomplishments. Their accomplishments are moot. They have not. Ultimately, there's one goal. And they haven't done it. Since 1948, they have not done it. So I don't want to hear about how good they are in the regular season. I don't want to hear about that one time they made the World Series in 2016 or the 2 times in the 90s, whatever. Until you win the World Series, you haven't done what you need to do. Period.
The Indians are like if I just got done watching the latest season of Hell's Kitchen, right? So the Indians are kind of like if a good chef was on every season, and there's like 20 chefs that start every season, and they like that chef finishes like 3rd or 4th every time. Like they do really well, but they just can't get to that end goal.
Yeah, but it still might be one of your favorite chefs. You still might be dominating the competitions.
Right.
Hey, listen, the Indians are my favorite chef.
Yeah.
But in the words of Gordon Ramsay, sometimes they're an idiot sandwich. And that time usually happens when the playoffs roll around. The Indians are a playoffs idiot sandwich.
Yep.
Man.
And hopefully they get to be at least a playoff idiot sandwich again this year, but who knows?
They're my idiot sandwich, so
they're my idiot sandwich. I love it.
Man,
all right, so listen.
I was really hoping for more fireworks there. I was adding my popcorn here off to the side after the.
What do you think was going to happen?
Your texts were going. I was hoping it would be a little bit more spicy.
Well, I just I can only say the same thing so many times, but again, it's just not. You're never going to get me with. Until they win the World Series, they haven't won anything. Mm-hmm. Until they win the World Series, they are the Atlanta Hawks of Major League Baseball. Killer regular season team, swept in the playoffs. That is what they are. That's what they become. Are you going to remember the Atlanta Hawks in 25 years? Nope.
Well, I'm not from Atlanta.
Yeah, of course. Kyle Korver, that weird guy with the blonde streak in his head.
Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah, him.
No, it was Jeff Teague.
Al Horford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what the Indians. If you want the most personally, if you want the most realistic comparison to the Indians, that's it. They are the Atlanta Hawks. They are the Atlanta Hawks. We got Little Boomer CBJ making a comment. Joey likes your hat.
Thanks.
Yeah, nice looking up.
Got the 614. We'll give a little credit to 614 Hockey.
614 Hockey.
Our buddy Matt down there was 614 Hockey. 614. Did you like how it's hockey?
Hockey.
614 Hockey.
And a couple of A's and W's of that one.
I flipped mine not on purpose, but I didn't want to match Joe too much.
Oh,
but
ew, gross.
We got the hats going. I just don't want to match Joe.
And if Matt's watching, I would wear a hat, but hats don't fit my large noggin, Matt. Sorry.
No, for real. I tried to put a hat on Chad. This hat. I tried to put it on Chad's head, and it looked like a yarmulke. And I put it on like the largest size that I could. Nope. Yeah. That shit is not going on your head.
I think if we do merch though, we could probably get like a 5-gallon bucket and then just like do like little get one of those like fat heads of our logo or something on it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like that. Speaking of merch and 614 Hockey. Sorry, I had to pick up my phone. You guys might want to keep your eyes out for potential news regarding that soon. If you might fancy yourself wearing a little Garage Beers apparel, you might want to keep an eye out for that. But all right, anyways, Indians chat was fun, but that's not what everybody's here for. Tomorrow, the beautiful city of Cleveland, Ohio, our hometown, is going to be lit up. It is going to be the center of the sports especially in the U.S., the center of the sports world. Tomorrow, Friday, Saturday, the NFL draft coming to you live from Cleveland, Ohio. They got the stage all set up down there right on the lake. It's a perfect location for the stage. I'm so glad they dumped out some of those buildings down there. Maybe now they'll actually build that area up. But right down on the lake, right next to the stadium, the stage is set up, the lake in the background, and a beautiful city of Cleveland on the other side, a beautiful picture of Cleveland on the other side. And it's going to be really, really fun to watch the city lit up. It's going to be fun to have the draft in person again. And boys, before we get into the second annual Garage Beers mock draft, how are you guys feeling? Are you guys excited to watch Cleveland in the limelight? And I don't know, what are your thoughts on the draft in Cleveland?
I'm excited for it. I wish I could be there for it. I know when they had it in Nashville a couple years ago, the city was just absolutely electric. Traffic was horrible.
Wait a minute. Do you remember on the news all the girls that like had their bachelorette parties that were whining about the draft being in Nashville?
Yeah.
All the bars were full of football fans.
Yeah. So Nashville being the bachelorette capital of the world, I guess people didn't look up what was going on the weekend of April, whatever it was for there, which I think you would like anytime you travel to the city, like look for like, I don't know, like
special events.
Yeah. And no, on the news, all these girls were like, we've been planning this for months and we couldn't go to any bars because it's full of football fans. And they're pissed.
We call that poor planning.
I mean, I knew it was the draft, but I didn't think there wouldn't be so many people down there.
I thought they were talking about the beer.
Yeah, right.
That was beautiful, Chad.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, so first of all, if you follow along with the Garage Beer on social media, go follow along all of our social medias, especially this weekend. You'll want to follow along with our Instagram at the Garage Beers and our TikTok account. I will be down doing some of the fan stuff. I'll be downtown all weekend for the draft. Chad is working the draft, so I don't know if you're going to be able to do anything, but if you get a chance to maybe post some pictures or something like that, it would be cool. But stay tuned to our social media all weekend long. We're going to post some pictures, some videos. I'm taking my son down to the fan experience on Friday, so I'll put some videos of us running around the stadium and stuff down on Friday. But we'll have you locked and loaded on our socials, and also pay attention because the Belly Up Network. So go follow at Belly Up Sports. The Belly Up Network is going to have a full 3-day draft coverage that some of us will be a part of as well. So, boys, are you ready to get into the second annual Garage Beers NFL mock draft?
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
I don't remember the order. What was our order?
Joe, Mike, and then me.
All right, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to mock draft our way all the way to the Browns pick. So Joe is going to have the first pick. So Joe will represent the Jacksonville Jaguars. That'll be the easiest one.
I can't wait. That's so exciting.
Then I will have the Jets. Chad will have the 49ers, and then it'll go back to Joe, and we will just go all the way through it until we get... Who's talking?
What? Is that me?
Oh, my phone.
That's you, dude.
Oh, Siri. She was talking to me. She just wanted to have a chat with me. I can't get mad at Siri for that.
She wants to make a pick. Can she be part of the order?
She cannot. So Joe's going to lead us off. We're just going to alternate picks, and we're going to go all the way down to pick 26. P.S. Chad, I think that's your buddy. Is that your buddy Aaron Williams? Did I meet Aaron at the zoo?
You did.
Hey, Aaron.
Yeah.
I saw Aaron at the zoo. He thinks the Browns are going to draft a hold snapper.
A long snapper.
I don't even know.
That would definitely be exciting.
What's a hold snapper?
I think it probably meant long snapper, but or maybe
I don't know. It could be the holder.
Maybe you can draft a holder now. I don't know.
Wait,
positions are so
is it a guy
nowadays? Huh?
Is this a guy that can long snap it and then rush back and catch it and also be the holder? Is that what a hold snapper is?
That'd be fucking awesome.
Or he just holds his own. He just holds his own ball and then kind of just like one of these guys.
Okay, I don't know.
That'd be the most talented snapper ever.
Yeah, well, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of innovation that sports need as they try to keep the fans engaged. A hold snapper. I like that, Aaron. All right, so without further ado, Joe, you normally have the sound ready here. You normally have the.
Yeah, I got the sound. We're in a new platform. I don't know if I can do the sound on this. We got to figure that out.
Oh, apparently I missed the joke. I don't know what the DA show is.
We could.
It was from something. Sorry, Aaron. See, it was. I'm the asshole.
Look at you. Look at you.
I'm the asshole.
What a dick.
Put me on the clock though. What is there like a time limit?
Right. You're right. You got to go on the clock. Let's just do
we milk it like they do?
No, can we not? Can you just make your pick in
2 minutes? Yeah, I can make the pick.
All right, Joey. With the first pick, you're on the clock.
If there was ever a more visually correct person to put on the Jacksonville Jaguars, it would be none other than Trevor Lawrence. Good luck, buddy. You got a lot of work to do. I think I don't know. I was going to compliment the Jaguars, but I don't think I can.
I don't know.
What?
I know we were gonna like rush through this thing, but what do you mean? Like he's so aesthetically pleasing to be put on like a Jaguar?
No. It looks like I don't know. It just looks like somebody that belonged in Jacksonville. No offense to Jacksonville.
What?
Like the stereotype of like I don't know.
You look like someone who belongs on Jacksonville.
It wasn't a compliment.
No, it didn't sound like it.
I mean,
I just want to make sure.
Jacksonville is a shitbox. Be honest with you, that city's a shitbox.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's worse places, I'm sure.
But it wouldn't surprise me, boys, if Urban went Fields here. If I'm going to be honest, it would not shock me if he took Fields number 1.
Okay, it would shock literally everyone.
It would shock everybody.
He is not taking
Trevor
Fields.
Lawrence.
He is taking Trevor Lawrence.
They've already started.
They've already done like Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars did like a joint fundraising thing. Where like they matched each other's. Yeah, I mean, like
I think if they were going Justin Fields, they would have traded down if they wanted Justin Fields.
Listen, it is Trevor Lawrence. Oh yeah, Joe, that's a great point. 100% all the way.
Why would you take him at 1?
Now, I think if you were talking about like the looks of it, Trevor Lawrence to the Broncos would make a lot of sense because Trevor Lawrence looks like a Bronco. Like the actual horse.
Oh,
but
I get it. He has a horse face. I get it.
That's it. That's the one. That's where I was going with that.
There you go.
Okay, got it.
Thank you for connecting the dots, Chad. All right, so Trevor Lawrence off the board, first overall pick. That's exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. Second overall pick, and that belongs to me and the New York Jets. And all the reports coming out say the Jets have basically told Zach Wilson, the quarterback from BYU, that he will be taken with the second overall pick. And so Zach Wilson will come off the board going to the New York Jets, the fighting former Sam Darnold's. And we'll see. Zach Wilson had a crazy pro day and he looked great. So we'll see if he is the type of player that can turn around the Jets. I don't know. Especially I think this last year, like I didn't really watch a ton of BYU games. I don't know about you guys.
I did.
All BYU all the time.
Yeah, well, that's honestly because when working down at the arena with the monsters and everything, I don't get home in time to watch all the early games. So I watch Pac-12. I watch a lot of WAC games. I watch a lot of Mountain West. That's the football I'm home for. So I do watch a lot of BYU. I have watched a lot of BYU games. And
wow,
kid's an animal, man. Kid's an animal.
Right.
I'm excited to see what he does with the Jets.
Man, Chad giving us a lot. Chad giving us a lot more about his love of the Mountain West than I was ready for there.
You haven't lived until you've watched Boise against San Jose State. Yeah. Let's see. So I guess I'm up then.
Whoa, whoa.
What?
Let the commissioner, sir.
Oh,
the San Francisco 49ers and Chad are on the clock.
Yeah. Well, they made this one easy too when all the reports came out, and Kyle Shanahan prefers Trey Lance over Mac Jones. It was either Trey Lance or Mac Jones, and so we're going with Trey Lance, the quarterback, North Dakota State.
Now, here's the real test. You watched a whole bunch of BYU, apparently. How much North Dakota State did you watch?
3 to 5 games. Yeah, 3 to 5 games of North Dakota State. No, I didn't watch any of North Dakota State.
No.
No, sure didn't.
So what's your expert analysis on Trey Lance?
He can throw the ball and hand it off. He can even run, and he can also take snaps from quarterback, even out of the shotgun, too. Even out of the shotgun. Yeah.
it sounds like, from what you're saying, Chad, it sounds like the 49ers are indeed getting a quarterback.
Well, that's exactly what Kyle Shanahan loved about Trey Lance.
Wait, didn't he say, like, Kyle Shanahan this week, he said, someone asked him, like, do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be on the team, like, come preseason? And he's like, well, we don't know if anyone's going to be alive past Sunday or something like that. Do you guys see that?
Jesus.
No, like, legit.
What's happening Sunday?
It's the end of the draft.
That's it?
They're asking him something about,
and everybody
like,
dies.
pretty much, yeah. Like, what's your confidence that somebody's going to be on the team at this point?
Right.
And he's
Great.
like, well, anyone.
Well, that's the end of the draft.
Of course, yeah. Of course that, and of course that would happen in Cleveland. So everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Cleveland, the one year everyone died.
Yeah.
All right. So the first 3 picks were chalk. Basically, those picks have almost already been announced, even though they can't officially, because they don't know what's exactly going to happen. But that's pretty much what they're saying they're going to do. Now it gets interesting because the Atlanta Falcons with the 4th pick go on the clock, and that goes back to Mr. Joe Whalen. So, Joe, you're on the clock.
I think it's going to be my Justin Herbert pick this year.
Ooh.
Just because the Atlanta Falcons, just the defense, they just, I don't know. I don't really think they care. You know what I mean? Like, I think they just have it as like a formality, but I think they just like having a good offense. And so I think they're going to go Kyle Pitts here and pick number 4. He is probably maybe after Devontae Smith, like the best offensive weapon on the board at this point. They're kind of lacking that tight end. They have Hayden Hurst that came over from the Ravens last year, and he didn't really do anything. So we're going Kyle Pitts.
I love it. Coach, what are your thoughts on defense? Well, we got to have one.
We play it. We play defense, kind of.
Let me check. I'll get back to you.
Well, it's also not a bad pick too, because Julio Jones is rumored to be traded now. Is rumored, like, they've just started taking calls on Julio because of the cap situation. So Kyle Pitts is a perfect pick there for them.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts is a beast, man. I tend to agree with a lot of people that are saying he's probably the best player in the draft, period. And so, listen, they've lost some players in that offense too. They were not as good offensively as they should have been. And so to add him to that, if they keep Julio, that's going to be a dangerous situation there in Atlanta. If your boy Matt Ryan from your fantasy mock draft yesterday, Chad, can get it going.
Take that W, baby.
All right. To me, this is one of the easiest picks that's going to happen in the draft. If it doesn't happen, because it's no guarantee, but if it doesn't happen, I will be absolutely shocked. The Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock. That comes back to me. And Joe Burrow's top wide receiver from LSU is just sitting there. He is one of the 2 or 3 best receivers in the draft. He is an incredible player, and the Cincinnati Bengals have an opportunity because they do not have a good receiving core. T. Higgins is pretty good. That's kind of it. They have an opportunity to pair Joe Burrow up with his college wide receiver, Jamar Chase.
Are you forgetting about Tyler Boyd?
He's okay.
I mean, okay. All right.
He's okay. Like, I think T. Higgins has potential to be really good. I think Tyler Boyd's all right. He's okay. But Chase, if you put Chase on that team, that is a whole new element to that offense. An offense that really wasn't bad last year. It's kind of the same thing, Joe. The defense needs some work in Cincinnati, but if you have the opportunity to pair Joe Burrow up with Jamar Chase again, you do it. So I think that's what the Bengals do with that 5th pick.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense, obviously, but I would take a look at the scar on Joe Burrow's knee and be like, maybe I need some offensive line help. But it does make sense with Jamar Chase. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, that was my choice. And so now it puts you on the clock, Chad. The Miami Dolphins on the clock here. They've got quite a few needs and quite a few good players. Who do you got?
Yeah, well, they just traded away one of their offensive linemen, starting offensive lineman, and Eric Flowers. So, with Chase off the board, because the Dolphins are a wide receiver needy team, I think they go the best offensive lineman in the draft. And I don't know how you say his first name, but Penei Sewell.
Got it.
Penei Sewell.
You nailed
the offensive lineman from Oregon.
Any analysis on that? How you feeling about it?
Oh yeah, I mean he's going to be able to protect Tua for a little bit, and he's going to protect Tua's side that he can see when Tua throws so many incompletions or 2-yard screen passes.
Jeez.
But yeah. It's the best offensive line in the draft.
He is. He's a beast out of Oregon, and so he goes to Miami in the Garage Beers mock draft. All right, Joe, swings it back around to you. The Detroit Lions are on the clock.
I think they're gonna. It's kind of nice. I'm going all offense right now.
Look at you.
Look at me.
Look at you.
Look at us. Look at us.
Look at me. Look at me.
I think they're going Devontae Smith here. They're gonna give Jared Goff some weapons over there in Detroit.
So weird to say.
Yeah, it is a little weird. But yeah, good luck. I don't know if that team's gonna have a prayer to hold on to this year.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But Devontae Smith is so good.
He's awesome.
I mean, just look at it.
It's incredible.
You don't even have to watch.
I'm so impressed. Like his body type is like twig. Like he is very like slim and slender, but he is just tough and like so fast, so good at catching. Like incredible player.
Does he have the year he has if Jalen Waddle is healthy?
I mean, I guess they could also go Jalen Waddle, but I don't know.
No,
if they would.
Probably not. He probably doesn't have that kind of a year. But at the same time, like, whoa.
Did you hear that reverb?
That was
I don't have any furniture in here.
Oh, it's an empty apartment.
Yeah, everything's so echoey.
But you know what? At the same time, even with Jalen Waddle back, I don't know. He's just so good. You just watch that national title game against Ohio State. Like there was no stopping him, no matter where he was.
Nope.
So, all right. So one Alabama wide receiver coming off the board, and I think we could actually see back-to-backs happen here. I am up next. The Carolina Panthers are on the clock. They can do a lot of things. Carolina has a lot of holes to fill, but I think I'm going to keep it offensive. I still think they need a ton of help offensively. They did just trade for Sam Darnold, so they could be a candidate for a quarterback because he sure as hell isn't a surefire thing. However, I think they traded for Sam Darnold, keeping in mind that they're going to give him a chance in Carolina, and we'll see what happens. So I am going to take the next Alabama wide receiver off the board. Wow. Jalen Waddle joins the Carolina Panthers to give Sam Darnold a weapon or two.
Wow. Okay, a weapon or two. I mean
they need it, right? They've got Christian McCaffrey when he's healthy. He's great. You got Robbie Anderson, who is to me, he's like Tyler Boyd. He's a pretty good wide receiver. You know, there's that group of wide receivers you think Sterling Shepard, Jamison Crowder, Robbie Anderson. Those are all that kind of group of wide receivers. I think a guy like Jalen Waddle is a difference maker for that offense, and I think help for somebody like Sam Darnold.
You think with Justin Fields sitting there, they're gonna stay at was that 8?
Well, so listen, we didn't pack in trades. We didn't talk about trades like how do we want to do that. I think certainly these couple picks right here, Chad. I think your next one is ripe for a trade too.
Yeah,
but unless it goes like this, because if the draft goes like this, they might not trade it. But I think in this circumstance, you could see Carolina trade out of this pick. We're not doing trades on the mock draft. So if Carolina stays in and it went like this, I would look at them taking a wide receiver. All right, Chad, you've got the Denver Broncos with round 1, pick 9. Broncos have a lot of needs, man. What do you see the Broncos doing here?
Oh man, I could see them either going linebacker or defense or offensive lineman. They had some major problems on the offensive line last year, but they really upgraded that defense, especially in the secondary with guys like Kyle Fuller in the fold now, reuniting with his old defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. But I think it's not going to surprise me if they go Rashawn Slater, the offensive tackle here from Northwestern, but I'm going to stick with defense, and I'm going to have them taking linebacker Micah Parsons from Penn State. Just to kind of round out that defense. Wow.
With again, I could see the Broncos. I actually, Ben Albright told us on the show that he thinks the Broncos are be active on the trade market. The reports have come out that the Broncos are going to be looking to trade. However, it's also I know they just signed Teddy Bridgewater, but like you don't have a quarterback, and like a guy like Justin Fields is just or Mac Jones are just sitting there. If I'm the Broncos, like what are we doing here? Like we saw it. We saw it with the Browns for years. Until you get a quarterback, what are you doing? Until you get a quarterback, what are you doing? So you've got a couple good quarterbacks on the board, but I see what you're doing. You're trying to make that defense stout. We'll see what happens. But the Broncos take the linebacker out of Penn State, and we move on. So that puts the Dallas Cowboys on the clock. And Joe, it comes back around to you.
Yeah, we're going to go back to defense for this one. I don't really think that there's a whole lot of offensive need for the Cowboys. They got pretty good skill positions. Their line's pretty decent. Dak's coming back this year, so that's going to be a huge bump on the offensive side. I think it's going to this early in the draft, they're going to look defense for sure because that was pretty abysmal last year. They sucked. And then you got Sean Lee that just announced his retirement last week. So I think they're going to go again, kind of just best or one of the best players on the field at this point at defense, and they're going to go Patrick Surtain. Surtain.
Yeah.
Patrick Surtain.
Cornerback out of Alabama.
Yeah.
Bada bing. He's off the board.
Yeah, I think surprised me because that defense sucks. I mean, if you watch my TikTok draft when I got the Cowboys, I wasn't too happy about it.
Yeah, that's right.
For defense. So
that's so bad. I mean, it's they got a lot of pieces in place to be good, but not on defense.
Right.
They didn't make a lot of moves this offseason either to bolster that up.
No, they sure didn't.
Nothing at least.
And that offense is going to, again, remember most of the time when you're thinking about how bad the Cowboys were last year, remember that they were playing with Andy Dalton as their starting quarterback. Sorry, Bears fans, for most of the year. And you were playing with a miserable Ezekiel Elliott, like the worst Ezekiel Elliott has looked since maybe he played in second grade. Like Mr. Fumble, terrible Ezekiel Elliott. I would imagine that offense is going to bounce back in a big way. So, yeah, they got to go defense. And Patrick Surtain, I think he's my favorite cornerback in the draft. So, yeah, that's a great pick. All right. So then it comes back to me. I got the New York Football Giants. And this is, I think we've only seen one offensive lineman come off the board. I think you see another one here. Although depending on how this draft goes, if a couple offensive linemen come off the board early before the Giants, this is another one of those picks that I think you could see a trade up because you still have quarterbacks sitting here on the board. You know how desperate teams get when it comes to quarterback. However, again, since we're not doing trades, I will go ahead and try to help them fix their awful, horrendous offensive line in New York. Rashawn Slater, the tackle from Northwestern, the dude's a beast. And I think he's a fairly easy pick for New York. They took an offensive lineman last year with the first round. I think they do it again. You can bookend your tackles and move on from there. So Rashawn Slater comes off the board. That brings up the Philadelphia Eagles and Chad Meyer.
Yeah, the Eagles are, offensively, they have a lot of guys. They got a lot of speed. They don't have a lot of superstars. But they do have some weapons. Jalen Hurts, I don't know. Who knows what he's going to be in his second year. But I look at their defensive side, and they don't have somebody on the other side of Darius Slay. Darius Slay, great cornerback, all-pro cornerback, and I think that is where they go with this because you got a guy like J.C. Horn sitting there, who is rising. I mean, meteorically rising up draft boards, and on a team that wasn't very good in South Carolina, but he was one of the bright spots. So I think they go J.C. Horn to pair with Darius Slay.
I love it. J.C. Horn, again, a heck of a player. Missed a little bit of time, but he's a really good player out of South Carolina. And I think that's a great play. And I think that's a great point. I don't know how many people are talking about how, you've got Darius Slay, an incredible player over there, and nothing on the other side. I think J.C. Horn makes them a much better defense. All right, so that brings it around back up to Joe and the Los Angeles Chargers. It's like your team, man.
I know.
You nailed the
I know.
Justin
And I'm going to
Herbert
nail
pick
this
last
one
year.
too.
Ooh,
I think this
then.
one's this is no brainer. This is going to be similar to the Browns pick last year in the first round, where they found their quarterback, they got their guy, they got maybe not a offensive weapon that's necessarily popping out at this point in the first round, and I think they're going to get somebody to protect their quarterback, somebody solid. So I think they're going to go with Christian Darrisaw for the Chargers out of Virginia Tech.
Out of Virginia Tech.
He's a plug and play tackle, man. They're talking about you can just insert him right now, and he's just going to be just fine. He's the Jedrick Wills. He's the Jedrick Wills of this draft.
Yeah.
Oh, good one, Jed. All right, we're cool with that. Yeah. You'd be very cool with that. It's like the Chargers are on the Browns plan; they're just a year behind.
They can stay a year behind. Well, let's get our Super Bowl first, and then they can have theirs after or something.
Yeah, fair.
Right.
Fair. You know what? I don't have to ever watch football again if we do that. All right, so that brings it over to the Minnesota Vikings, and again, this is another team that, again, if the draft kind of goes this way, who knows where the Vikings go? I mean, again, this is another team that needs offensive line help. They're not great on the offensive line, but like I said, I don't know where they're going to wind up or where they're going to be. So. I think this might be a little bit of a reach. I can't decide whether I want to take a defensive player or an offensive lineman for the Vikings.
I had them going defense in mind. If that makes any difference.
They're such a run heavy offense. They need Dalvin Cook to succeed, even though they're a good passing offense too. But they need Dalvin Cook to succeed. So shoring up the offensive line is really important. However. They also need some help. I think even in the defensive backfield, I think they need a pass rusher. They
didn't bring back Anthony Harris.
They did not bring back Anthony Harris. So I'm trying to make a decision here because this is the one where I'm kind of stuck. I think it is pretty important for them to kind of get their pass rush together. It wasn't very good last year. And so I am going to bring Kwity Paye off the board out of Michigan. Whoa. He's an edge rusher. And I think Kwity Paye, I was going back and forth. Kwity Paye, I was going back and forth him, Trevon Moehrig, the safety, because they can pair another safety up back there. But I'll take Kwity Paye off the board for the Minnesota Vikings.
Whoa.
All right, Chad, you got the New England Patriots. This will be a fun one.
I actually had him going to the Giants, Kwity Paye, but all right, guys, it's that that's not my pick, so it's my pick now, Patriots. I mean, honestly, this one's a coin flip here. I mean, they signed all of the free agents this offseason on defense, like every single free agent that there was. They signed all of them, but the one that they signed that you're not so sure about is Cam Newton. You have no idea what you're going to get from Cam Newton, and they need a quarterback of the future in New England. Right. And for me, this is really a coin flip. But I went with Mac Jones from Alabama, but I would not be surprised to see Justin Fields come off the board here either. I mean, it really just depends on what kind of scheme and skill set that McDaniels and Belichick are looking for. But I just went with Mac Jones from Alabama. Wouldn't be surprised to see Justin Fields go.
And this is where it's so interesting, right? Because again, we're not doing trades. Because if we were doing trades, or like
Patriots would go up for sure.
Patriots would probably have gone up at this point. You've got Justin Fields sitting on the board. You've seen slides. We've seen guys we thought were going to go earlier drop. I just can't imagine with the way teams covet quarterbacks and the way they go nuts and like overpay draft picks for them. I can't imagine this situation is going to happen. But it's a good example of, if teams just decide to. We thought there were going to be a boatload of trade last year, and there weren't. If teams just kind of decide to stay put and do their thing, you could see our guy from Ohio, Justin Fields. You could see him. We're sitting now with the Arizona Cardinals. It's going to come back to you, Joe. 16th pick in the first round.
He's not good for them.
There's a whole lot of teams that are coming that don't need quarterbacks right now. So you could see how quick that slide can happen. So,
and what's weird to me. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say what's weird to me is there's all these reports coming out about, I mean, you heard the epilepsy reports, but there's some character concerns. I have no idea where this is coming from, but
for Fields.
Yeah, for Fields.
Nah.
For Fields.
Okay. I'm just gonna say it. It's like a natural thing for a black quarterback. It's always character concerns. Always. It is, whether you like hearing that or not, because obviously I don't like that it's a thing, but everyone that comes out, every black quarterback that comes out, well, I don't know about his character. What on earth has Justin Fields done character-wise that would make you question him?
Nothing.
Baker Mayfield has done more to question his character than anything Justin Fields has done.
Again, I don't want to say it's that. I don't know a lot of stuff behind the scenes, I guess, but like, it just doesn't surprise me when a black quarterback's on the board. It does not surprise me in the slightest to hear people like, "Oh, I don't know about his character." And you're like, "What? He hasn't done anything. He's been a model citizen." There's no character concern there. But again, I'll step back off of that. Let's keep the positivity up here. So Matt Jones goes to the Patriots. That feels like a very Bill Belichick guy, Mac Jones. We'll send it back to Joe for the Cardinals.
Yeah, and again, I don't like that Justin Fields is still on the board, but Cardinals aren't drafting quarterback. No. They need some defensive help. They're kind of in a similar situation to who was it? Cowboys, where pretty good on offense, just need some reassurance on defense. I think that can come in the interior, get a little run block going. So they're going to draft Christian Barmore, Alabama. Also, if they do that, that would be 4 Alabama players in the top 16 picks. That's kind of insane.
Did you see Alabama last year?
Did you see him?
Yeah. Yeah, Christian Barmore's a beast. He's that guy, like, full disclosure in my head, he's that guy that I hope slips down to like 19, 20, and it becomes enticing for the Browns, because I do think he's a beast on the interior line, and I would love to see them say, okay, we can come up from 26 to 20 to get this kid. But like you said, I could also see him very much coming off the board for the Cardinals there. So that takes it to the Las Vegas Raiders. They need help in like two main places. The offensive line needs some help with the Raiders, and the defensive backfield needs some help as well. I think there's some really good players both ways on board, but I think there may be a little bit more. They need a little help in the defensive backfield than anything. So I have the Raiders taking Caleb Farley, the cornerback out of Virginia Tech. Caleb Farley had an injury, but I think if you read anything about Caleb Farley, if you've watched him play, I think a lot of people have him as really the number one cornerback in this draft. He's just got to make sure he can stay healthy, and that's the biggest concern for Farley. So I have him joining up with the Raiders out there in Vegas, and we'll see what happens there. Chad, you've got the Miami Dolphins with their second first-round pick.
Yeah, that's where, I mean, yeah, Caleb Farley's kind of a shocker, but he's the number one cornerback on the board if it wasn't for his injuries. I mean, he's had 2 or 3 back surgeries already, and there's a rumor that he's going to need some more surgery. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens to him. But anyway, Miami Dolphins, second pick. Talked about it at the 6th pick when I had them taking Penei Sewell.
Nailed it.
Penis Ewell.
Penis Ewell. And they also needed a wide receiver as well. They really need help at the skill positions. And so I think with this pick, they get their receiver who falls to them. It is the wide receiver from Minnesota, Rashad Bateman.
That's another Browns dream for me. I love Rashad Bateman.
I love
Rashad Bateman. He's so good.
Well, there's some scenarios where he could fall, because there's a lot of those guys that we picked, or a lot of those teams that we picked early picked, wide receivers early on that could go plenty of different other directions. So there's a chance that he could fall.
All right. Well, Rashad Bateman goes to the Dolphins, and immediately the Dolphins are winning this draft. By the way, if you take Penei Penny Sewell and Rashad Bateman, and they walk away with that. That is an incredible first round for the
I could have
Dolphins.
sworn they had 3 picks in the first round. Or is it like 3 second-round picks? They had an insane amount of picks this year, like high draft pick.
Yeah.
Slots.
Yeah. Well, Tua's going to get some help, and especially if Rashad Bateman, especially if Bateman's going, Tua's getting the help he needs. So, Joe, it's going to bring it back to you. You got the Washington football team on the clock with the what pick is this?
19.
Yeah,
it's an absolute shame and crime if Justin Fields is on the board at 19. If he is by some ungodly chance, then I think the Redskins are not the Redskins.
Wow.
What are the hell they called? Washington football team.
The Redskins.
Yeah, he's going there. So Alex Smith retired. Who would be left at quarterback there? Kyle Allen? Is that it? Is that their starting quarterback right now? Is Kyle Allen?
I think
so. Fitzpatrick. They signed Fitzpatrick.
Oh, Fitzpatrick.
Oh, well, okay. They're saved.
Yeah.
They're gonna have like 3 he's gonna have 3 games where he throws for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. And
I think Washington's one of those teams because remember, Washington made the playoffs last year. As much grief as I want to give them mentally, they were in such a bad division that they made the playoffs last year.
They have a great defense. They have a really good defense.
Yeah, they're the team that I think if Justin Fields is sitting there and it's 12, 13, something like that, I think you see Washington or Mac Jones, one of the quarterbacks sitting there. I think you see Washington jump up. They're one of those teams. I don't think they would let somebody fall, but I do think they wind up with a quarterback. So I think it's all going to work out in the end.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I had Fields either there or the Bears. So I had him there or the Bears. So
yeah, so the Bears, and again, the other thing is if he does slide this far, that's where you could see the Bears jumping in front of Washington or something like that. But you've just watched the last of kind of the big quarterbacks go off the board if you are the Bears. And so now you're looking at big needs for the Bears. Obviously, quarterback is the big need. Andy Dalton is going to be the starting quarterback. They need a quarterback. I don't think there's one here that they're going to take in the first round. If they're not in love with, they need wide receivers. They need offensive line help.
They need
the Bears. The Bears need a bunch of stuff. I could see the Bears looking at this situation that we've handed to them and say, yeah, we're going to trade out of this. Maybe come back down 5, 6, 8 spots if they can get a trade. But assuming they do stay here, I think they go offensive line. You've got the tackle from USC that's really good. I never know how to say his name. Elijah Vera Tucker. So I'm going to take him. He's a tackle from USC. He's going to come off the board to the Bears, give them some offensive line help to give Andy Dalton nearly enough time that he needs because that's like 12 seconds.
I think you got to bench the D line and to get Andy Dalton the time he needs.
Yeah,
you got to be playing the Falcons.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so Chad, you are now on the board with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah. They just gave up a bunch of assets for Carson Wentz. I think they want to protect him as much as they can. So I think they also go offensive line as well. And the next tackle off the board, in my opinion, is Walker Little from Stanford. It's either going to be him or Tevin Jenkins, the offensive lineman from Oklahoma State. But I think it's one of those two.
All right, so Walker Little, again. If you're and you have paid attention to Carson Wentz's career, Carson Wentz holds on to the ball too long. So one, you're hoping that the coaching can help break him of that habit.
Yeah.
But two, that makes offensive linemen incredibly important. So I agree with that choice. Although I do think the Colts could use a couple more upgrades in other places. I agree with that choice. Get Carson Wentz some help on that line because that dude loves holding on to the football.
Yeah, but he didn't stand a chance even when he didn't hold it last year.
Yeah, and don't forget, he's reunited with the coach that made him successful, Frank Reich. So
that's right.
It's going to be interesting to see.
All right, so another offensive lineman off the board to the Indianapolis Colts. We're at pick 22. We're going all the way. We may even complete the first round the way we're doing it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? But Joe, fittingly. It just works out. We're going to take it to Nashville, Tennessee. You're home.
Let's do it.
And you've got the Tennessee Titans with the 22nd pick.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, the Titans are they got to go defense.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're gonna go defense.
Hold on, I'm cutting you off for 1 second.
Why?
Hey, Knots Turner. Knots Turner, we're not pissed you joined so late. We're glad you're here.
The party's starting.
I love you, Derek. I love you, Derek.
We're glad you're here, Derek.
Derek
Don't
Henry.
be pissed. We're coming up on the Browns pick. You don't want to miss it.
Oh
Right.
no, that's the best pick. Next
All
to
right,
this
so
pick.
back to the Titans.
Titans. So 2 years ago, you lose Jarrell Casey to, I think they traded him. I can't remember if they traded him or was free agent. You had Jadeveon Clowney for like 2 games last year. He broke. Hopefully he doesn't break this year. So they need some help on the edge on defense. And with that, they're going to go Jalen Phillips from Miami.
Oh,
Jalen
wow.
Phillips. Yeah.
I'm actually pretty surprised at that. I'm actually
Oh,
pretty
are you?
surprised.
Why?
What do you think I was going to do? Or what do you think they should do?
I thought you would go receiver with the loss of Corey Davis, and they're teams are going to stack the box against Henry this year. So I really thought you'd go receiver there. But yeah, I mean defense works as well. Yeah, edge makes sense. Like that pick doesn't make sense, but it's just wide receiver made more sense to me. But yeah, I mean obviously they need some edge help.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so little help off the edge. Jalen Phillips, really good player out of Miami. They've got a couple good edge players in this draft. He's the first one to go to Nashville. That puts the New York Football Jets back on the clock. Earlier in the draft, they got what they hope is their quarterback. And so now what else are they going to do? Again, the Jets, they need help everywhere. There's nowhere the Jets don't need help. So in looking around, I think this is where can you get your new class some help up front? I don't know if there's any offensive linemen that are just jumping off right here.
Yeah,
So-
you good?
So yeah, what's Chad doing? Chad, are you?
No, that's all you, Mike.
No,
Oh, what I
you sound like the drive-through in Wayne's World too. Like I'll have a Ellie on that. I'll have a. I can.
See, I don't know. It says my Wi-Fi is great. Whatever. So I think the Jets. Actually, I don't know that there's anybody offensively that's going to jump off the page to the Jets right here. So I'm going to go defense with the Jets. I'm going to go cornerback because they need help at cornerback, and I'm going to go Greg Newsome the second. Greg Newsome Jr. out of Northwestern for the New York Jets.
That made my pick easier.
Okay.
All right. Good, Chad. Making fun of my voice because for some reason my Wi-Fi isn't working, even though it says I'm like full power on my Wi-Fi. Fine.
Right.
Chad, idiot face. You get the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, stupid Steelers. Of course. I mean, of course they would ignore needs, the major needs at offensive line and the defensive backfield, because all reports are indicating that they're all over a running back, and that running back seems to be Najee Harris, is the name you just keep hearing. And so, I'm just going to draft Najee Harris to the Steelers because I want them to be worse, and they will be worse for making this pick. They will be worse for making this pick because they still don't have an offensive line. So there we go.
What a
Najee
mess
Harris.
they're going to be this year. What an absolute
I
mess.
hope so. I hope you're right.
Yeah.
So the first running back off the board, the first running back should be Najee Harris, and it will be. So Steelers get Najee Harris. All right, Joe.
Yeah.
That's going to take it to you. You've got the last pick before the Cleveland Browns. You've got the 25th pick. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars again.
Yeah.
You've already taken Trevor Lawrence. Who are you going to take this time?
I start with them. I end with them. Look at that full circle moment right here, right on the Garage Brews
Boom.
podcast live stream. What are they doing? That's what I'm saying, dude. He's like, yeah.
I don't know what to do about it.
It's very like Peter Frampton-esque. It's like it's usually what Chad sounds like on a weekly basis.
Yeah, right.
Listen.
I mean, when I'm in the basement. When I'm in the basement.
Yeah, that's true. When you're on the porch, it's crystal.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to work. I don't know what's wrong.
Well, good luck with that. I'm on the
Thank
clock. And then to go, I don't know, safety help with probably the best safety in the draft, if not the best.
Ooh.
Trevor Moehrig. Is that how you say it?
Trevon.
I can't believe I got Trevon wrong, and I got probably Moehrig right.
You did get Moehrig right. And Trevon, you got wrong.
All right.
So killing it over here, but that's what they're going with. Get a little defensive help. It's a really great player to have. He's going to the Jags.
Did you? Okay.
That's my expert analysis as well.
We're coming up on the Browns, and there's obviously someone there And I want to ask you guys this honestly. Did you purposely leave him off of the board of all the other teams because this is the player you want, or do you honestly think he's going to fall to them, to the Browns?
I think there's a chance. I think there's very much a chance. I don't even know if he's the player I want the most.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I don't even know if I'm going to take him, to be honest with you.
Whoa. Whoa.
So I guess it is my turn, so I guess I should go first. So here we are. We're at pick number 26. It's the Cleveland Browns. If you can't understand me, I'm sorry. For some reason, my Wi-Fi is just not working, but I hope it's working okay right now.
Yeah. It's
All right.
now.
Yeah.
It hasn't been like that the whole time.
No,
It's been
all
like
right.
that the whole time.
Yeah,
Just like it's like when you get to something really important, though.
Good.
Yeah.
That's how I want it. That's how I want it to work.
Spectrum's
That's all I
out there like, okay, hold on, stand by.
That's how I want it to work.
Right.
Everything else is working. Wi-Fi
Got it.
wise. Just my computer. Just my computer. All right. So that leaves me. Now, I will say full disclosure, if Joe didn't just take Trevon Moehrig, I might have taken him there. I know he's a safety, but again, I think the Browns are going to play so many packages with so many multiple defensive backs, and he's versatile. And again, I think you're going to see guys like Delpit and John Johnson playing up at like linebacker positions a lot.
Yeah.
That I was really tempted at Moehrig if he was still going to be there. He's not. So again, I'm going to make the obvious pick. The Browns linebacking core isn't great. They got it some help. They got it some help this offseason, but it's not a great linebacking position. They've addressed other positions of need, right? They've addressed the edge rushers with Tack and with obviously with Jadeveon Clowney. They've addressed some of the other areas. Linebacker, they still need help with. And you know what? At this point, bring in a guy, put him in the room, and if he can compete for the job, let him compete for the job. So that's why I'm going to go with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. So JOK from Notre Dame at linebacker. If he's on the board, I'm taking him. With our Garage Beers official mock draft pick, I am going to take JOK, and then you guys can go from there. Chad, who would you take in this position if you were the Browns?
No, that's exactly who I'm going with. That's the player I was talking about. He's the perfect position. He's the perfect player for our needs. Yeah, I mean, he's a hybrid linebacker safety. He's very speedy. He can cover. He can make plays in the run game, and he brings the wood. Like he's the perfect. Linebacker for today's, for today's defenses that a lot of coaches want. Very speedy. I mean, he doesn't weigh a ton. He's probably, I think he's like 225. But again, he makes plays all over the field. He's just a ball hawk, and with his coverage skills, it's the perfect player for this Browns defense.
Well, and the other thing is, Chad. Again, if you've watched him or read about him or anything, seen highlights or whatever, he's a cover corner or he's a cover linebacker first. And if you watch the Browns last year, one of the areas, and there were plenty of them defensively, one of the areas that was the biggest gaping hole for this defense was coverage of routes over the middle, specifically by tight ends.
Yeah.
Right? Tight ends ate the Browns alive last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so to get a guy like that who can immediately step in and cover tight ends would be a massive improvement for this defense.
Yeah.
Joe, who would you take if you were the Browns right here?
Who'd you guys pick?
Plaxico Burress. We took Plaxico.
That
Burress.
guy.
Yeah.
That guy.
I have a feeling he may shoot himself in the leg one day, but
yeah.
who knows?
Until that point, he'll be great. No, I agree with you guys. I think we need some help with the linebacker position. We were gashed last year by tight ends. I really don't have much to add to that.
Well, and you know the thing is too, he can tackle.
I think Joe just doesn't want to say his name.
That's another.
I think Joe just doesn't want to say his name.
He can't pronounce it. And I know.
Yeah.
We know who you're. Just say JOK. You're good. Just say JOK.
The Joker.
Yeah. Joker.
The Joker.
Yeah.
But that's another thing.
Is that going to fit on a jersey too?
Yeah. Maybe.
We'll make it fit.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, they've Gabaja Biamila fit on a jersey. Yeah,
Virgil.
Oh my God, Akbar Gabaja Biamila. Well, yeah. Oh, and we also had what was that one guy? Adim Chinobi Echimandu. Remember that guy on the Browns? Yeah, that's right. So I think we could be fine.
Yeah, it works. All right, so we are all in agreement. If Joker, as we're going to call him, is on the board out of Notre Dame at linebacker, the Browns are probably taking him. If they keep that pick. Again, there's also still a lot of rumors that the Browns may trade out of that pick, whether it's up or down. There's a lot of rumors, and that's been fun to watch, that the Browns could come up. Again, the interior defensive line right now is a question. So if a guy like Christian Barmore starts slipping, you could see the Browns come up. They could also get to this point and go, we are not in love with anybody, and trade back a little bit. We will see what the Browns do, but I think if he is on the board at 26, it's a quick fix to a problem that they have at linebacker. So
it's so good having that feeling, like just being like, you know what, just letting the draft come to you. You know, like Ben Albright said last week. It's such a good feeling to know, like, this is what good football teams. This is the problems good football teams have. Well, and it's just amazing.
And I think it's I think certain things could change this. I think Benjamin Albright was right last week with us. Let's say one of these wide receivers slide.
Yeah.
Could the Browns take a receiver? Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Let's say, again, when you're talking about the cornerbacks in this draft, it's like the big four that everybody talks about. We've taken all of them.
Yeah.
But let's say one of those four slides to 26. Are the Browns going to consider that? Hell yeah, they will.
Right. Yeah.
Might the Browns consider an offensive lineman? Yeah.
You're in a position where you can get the best available talent at that point.
Your offensive line is incredible with the Browns, but you can always use depth. One of your guys goes down, you want depth.
We lost not CeeDee Lamb. Kendall Lamb. Kendall Lamb's gone this year. Yeah,
We're going to draft
tackle CeeDee Lamb.
Now, I think Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, if they do draft him, I would be thrilled. So I'm happy with that. You boys are in agreement. Not Turner. Again, he's the one that ruined our connection. But he says go Browns. Jack. We agree with you.
Jerk.
Go Browns.
Jack.
Go Browns.
Look at that.
Yeah. All right. So let's move off of it and let's go. Chad, we're going to finish the first round. We got a few picks left. Yeah. So Chad, this is your pick. The Baltimore. Good. You get the Steelers and the Ravens.
Oh,
both
great.
piles of crap. You get the Ravens with the 27th pick.
This is bullshit. I'm going to go. I mean, they had Yannick Ngakoue last year. They didn't really do much with him. There is a couple of receivers on the board that I don't know if they would consider. Like, there's like Elijah Moore is still there, on our board, but he's a Marquise Brown. I mean, he's exactly the same receiver as Marquise Brown. They don't need a receiver like him, but they did have Yannick Ngakoue. He didn't do much. They need help off the edge, so I think they go with Jason Owe. Yeah. Yeah. So I think they go with him, and that's my pick for them.
All right. So Jason Owe from Penn State coming off the edge for the Ravens. That pisses me off just because he's a good player. And like the last thing the Ravens need is another good player coming off the edge. Like, Jesus Christ.
Every year.
I feel like that's how, like, hopefully that's how teams going up against the Browns feel this year. Like, oh, great, another guy coming off the edge for the Browns. But God, that's the Ravens, man. Jeez.
They're the team that every year, I feel like, since they come back, the Browns have come back in the league. The Ravens are the team that every year,
yes,
I always find myself going, how the fuck did that guy fall to them? Like,
well, it was J.K. Dobbins last year.
Yeah,
right. It was like,
it was Patrick Queen. Like, how do they get
Queen?
These guys?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's why they've been as good as they've been for such a long time. It's just,
positions to draft the best talent.
Let's go.
The time they're in. That's the Browns this year, baby.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens continually get to a place where they're like, we don't really need anything, so let's just go get a kick-ass edge rusher.
Yeah. Right.
And they just have a perpetual line of edge rushers coming through.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, it comes back up top to you. The New Orleans Saints are on the board.
Yeah.
The Drew Brees list.
I wasn't ready to go past 26, but here we go.
Here we are. Past
here
26.
You lose Emmanuel Sanders to I don't know. Is he gone? Where'd he go? Carolina?
Is he gone?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's gone. I don't know. Ask Kyle Shanahan. Apparently nobody makes it past Sunday. So I think they're going wide receiver here. Again, they're in a great position to just get talents. You don't have Drew Brees anymore. You got Jameis Winston at the helm. I'm going to give him some weapons to work with here. You got Alvin Kamara. You got Michael Thomas. I think they can go Elijah Moore here. Get a little more vertical threat going, and that's what it is.
I think he fits in. You were just talking, Chad, about Elijah Moore not fitting in with the Ravens. I think he fits in perfectly.
This would be the spot for him to go into.
100%. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so that's going to bring it back to me. The Green Bay Packers are on the board. Man, it's hard to think. The Green Bay Packers, offensively, I know one of their needs is like a wide receiver, so you still got a guy like Terence Marshall there. That's a good player. But I also think they're just a factory of getting these no-name wide receivers and turning them into good players. So I don't know about that. I know they're not very good at the linebacking position. They need some help at the cornerback position. So I'm a little bit torn on what I think they're going to do. However, I am going to say probably the player I like best on the board still is Nick Bolton out of Missouri, the linebacker. So I'm going to go with Nick Bolton to the Green Bay Packers. I think he is a really, really underrated good player. And so I will say the Packers take him to help them out at their linebacking position.
Fine.
All right, Chad, Buffalo Bills on the board or on the clock. Who do you got?
First off, let me just say I'm glad someone else is getting the fucking Ravens after me. So Buffalo, it is very. I mean, I understand that they have problems in the running game, that they don't have a good
anyone that
back.
can hold the ball.
A good running back, but they need help on the edge defensively. So I mean, it's very apparent. It's very crucial for them if they're going to take that next step forward. They can always take a running back in the second round. There's going to be plenty good ones available in the second round there. So I'm going to go right now. I'm going to go with on the edge for the Buffalo Bills, Azeez Ojulari, the edge rusher from Georgia.
Oh. Yeah, he's a good player. He's there's concerns about his size. He's not the biggest guy, and he's kind of light. You can put on weight though. I think Azeez Ojulari could be. We've seen some guys. It's a funny thing, Curse. There isn't that like in this draft. There isn't that like transcendent edge rusher, right?
No.
There's a lot of these guys. If Kwity Paye, who's a really good player, but if Kwity Paye is like the best edge rusher in the draft, it is not the best edge draft of all time.
No.
I think Ojulari could be maybe the best edge rusher in this draft if he can bulk up a little bit, which I think he will. So that's a great pick. All right, Joey, Baltimore, back to you for the second to last pick in this first round.
I'm just going to completely negate Chad's argument because we got the edge rusher. What else do we need? I don't know. Just another weapon for Lamar Jackson. If somebody doesn't work out, you got some depth, or maybe this guy will come out and make a big scene this year. Who knows? But they're going to take Terrence Mitchell Jr. out of LSU. Marshall. God damn, dude.
You're killing
Here's the thing. I got my second monitor over here, and I'm trying to look forward because we're doing this whole live stream now. So I'm trying to I guess I can look. You won't see
money Mitch.
Now I know why Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah was not coming out of jail.
No,
he wasn't saying that.
I would have had to lean forward and everything with that one.
Money Mitch is asking for his release from the Texans.
No, it's his kid. It's his kid. He's a prodigy.
Yeah,
he's a prodigy.
He's a junior.
All right, Terrence Marshall Jr. goes to the Ravens, and to finish off the second annual Garage Beers mock draft with the last pick of the first round. And we only went this whole way because the Browns are picking 26th. So we had to get here somehow. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think my favorite thing is that when it says the needs, for Tampa Bay, it lists quarterback.
Right.
Until Tom Brady dies, you don't need a quarterback. It just is what it is.
No.
Is Tom Brady dead? No?
Nope.
Then you don't need a quarterback. They're one of these teams. They're in that boat. Take the best player that you can get, I think. I think if there happened to be a quarterback on the board that they loved, they might get him. Like, let's say Mac Jones just slid all the way out. Sure, maybe pick him up to learn from Tom Brady. But at this point, I'm looking at my board thinking, okay, who's the player that I think they would come out and get? I think one of the areas that they could use some depth and some more talent would be at the safety position. And I really like Elijah Molden from Washington. So I'm going to have the Buccaneers take Elijah Molden.
Well, why do you like him, Mike? Did you watch a lot of Washington football?
I didn't watch. No, dick face. I did not watch a lot. Just like you didn't watch a lot of BYU, you lying sack of shit.
Oh, God, no,
I didn't watch a lot of Washington football. No, you didn't.
I watched Coastal Carolina upset BYU this year.
Sir, you got 2 kids. You didn't watch a lot of BYU anything.
No, yes,
no
I
chance.
Did.
No, you didn't.
Are you kidding me? 9 o'clock is when is the perfect time for me to watch college football, and that's what BYU is on.
Argument. That's a good argument. Damn it. No, I did not watch a lot of Washington football. I did see maybe one Washington game, but I just in doing some reading about the draft before we came on, I just think it's a guy with a lot of potential. I think it's a physical player with good ball skills, and it's a guy. The cool thing is when you're in the position like the Buccaneers are in, like the Ravens are in, hopefully like the Browns have gotten to, you can take these guys. They don't feel a ton of pressure on their shoulders to come in and have to carry a team because they're a first-round pick. And they can come in and play easy, play free, split their minutes with other good players, and it's a great way to come into the league. So,
and somebody that can have impact on a team that is probably going to make another Super Bowl run.
All right, so here's the fun part. I've been keeping track because we'll post the draft that we had. We did the Pro Football Focus mock draft.
Good, because we got a lot of A's. 3 of them, dude. I was scrambling to figure out who was still on the board and who left.
We did a lot of A's and a lot of A pluses. So the best A plus that it gave us. And so I'm going to say, it's hard to even say. The best A plus that it gave us. So I'm going to say the lowest pick that got an A plus. So the latest pick that got an A plus was Trevon Moehrig for the Jaguars. They gave an A plus to that. They think that's a phenomenal pick.
Of course. I noticed, but thank you.
The worst pick, don't get too confident, you son of a bitch. Because you also had the worst pick.
Damn it. Who?
The worst pick in the draft, they gave it a C- to the Tennessee Titans, Jalen Phillips.
For real? Oh, get out of here.
Pro Football Focus felt like that was a reach, sir.
It doesn't matter what they think it is. It's not. That's what's going to happen.
Hey, Titans, don't call Joe to be your GM anytime soon.
Well, they're not. They're not taking. They don't answer my calls anymore.
He doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing. It did give the Browns an A for their choice.
Okay.
Of Owusu Koromoa. And I'd be super excited. If they do that tomorrow, I will be thrilled. So one more question before we get off the draft. Guys, if you look at the board, players that didn't get taken in our mock draft, who's the one guy that you are hoping and praying ends up on the Cleveland Browns by the end of the weekend? So I'll give you a little time because I just sprung that question on you, as you can see. Oh, and hold on. We got a question too. So you guys think about that. We'll answer this question. Your boy Knots Turner, our boy, he asked if we could recap the top 10. So here's how the top 10 went. The Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence. The New York Jets, Zach Wilson. The San Francisco 49ers, Trey Lance. The Atlanta Falcons go Kyle Pitts. The Bengals go Jamar Chase. That would be really cool to see Jamar Chase back with Joe Burrow. The Dolphins go Penei Sewell. The Lions go Devontae Smith. The Panthers go Jalen Waddle. The Broncos go Micah Parsons. And at number 10, the Cowboys go Patrick Surtain. So, again, we talked before the draft. We were not going to incorporate any trades or anything because I do think if the draft goes the way it does, or it did with us, you could definitely see the Panthers or the Broncos looking to trade out of their picks. But with no trades, that's how we felt the top 10 could go. And again, if you're a Browns fan and you're tuning in, the Browns wind up with pick 20
He gone. Look at that.
Bye.
Bye. But it was such a smooth recap, and then all of a sudden,
yeah, right?
He's gone.
Yeah. Well,
how about that?
How you doing there, Joey?
How you doing? Look, it's just the two of us here in the garage.
Well, now that we're alone.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, do you want to go with your did he finish the top 10?
I don't know if he finished the top 10. Well,
I think he finished it.
Did he really?
I don't know. Well, what are you feeling for the Browns' second round pick? If someone or some type of position is available.
Yeah, I wish his Wi-Fi didn't go out, because I was just starting to try to redo the draft again, because I was looking at it and I don't know who the hell was left on the board. So he was like, "Who's the one player?" And I'm like, "There's a shitload."
There are literally so many players. No, I think the one that screwed me up when we were drafting was, I think you took Najee Harris.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I did not grab him. And I was like scrambling, like, because he's not like super high up on like the list of people to choose from in the PFF website. And so I was like, where the hell is Najee? Like, I was losing it. Yeah.
And he was down there at like 65. Like 65 is his overall rank, and I'm sitting there going, what the? Why? I mean, I know the Steelers didn't have a running game last year, but there are way more pressing needs for the Steelers if they have any chance of being good, like getting back to the playoffs. Or, I mean, I don't know. Is Super Bowl a realistic option for the Steelers this year?
I don't think so. I mean, you lost Bud Dupree, you lost Marquise Pouncey, you lost James Conner, so you're not going to run Blake Snell all year.
Right.
I think Najee Harris makes sense. I mean, he's an incredible running back. Like they definitely need that. That's Steeler football right there, is pounding the rock, and with Ben throwing his 65-yard passes each game, he probably wants a little bit of a break this year.
Right, and you lost Steven Nelson. You lost Mike Hilton. So it's just what are you doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing if you're all over a running back? Like what's I don't get it.
Yeah, I think second round with Browns, and I'm not too deep to know player wise who's available or who'd be maybe like the preferred options at that point.
Right.
But you think they'd have to go if there's a good interior lineman available, or if there is an edge rusher available.
Yeah.
They got to go that.
I would say edge rusher or best defensive back left on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike's asking us if we can see the lobby. Nope.
You can see the lobby. I can't see the lobby.
No, I can't see the lobby.
That's fantastic. Yeah, we're just participants. He's the host.
I know. What are we supposed to like? I don't even know what to do right now. Like I don't even know what to do with my hands.
What do I do with my hands?
Oh well. All right, man. Well, maybe I guess we'll just wrap up.
I think we'll just wrap up. Okay. Should we do our 2 cheers of the week and then get out of here?
Yeah, let's do our 2 cheers of the week. What do you got,
Let's do
Joe?
2 cheers of the week. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. I was saving this. I mean, I guess, just drinking with you is not drinking alone. So
no,
I did promise a Fireball shot was going to make an appearance. And I think for the second straight week, I'm cheersing Fireball because these mini shots are just absolutely iconic. I would never buy a full bottle of it. But these little guys having in your fridge are just great. Post-work, you need just get a little bit of something, Great on the golf course. Great for life. Fireball. That's it.
Well, yeah, but
I'm cheersing a literal drink.
Yeah.
And mostly because I don't have any of like my bar here at the new apartment yet. So I literally had like a 6-pack of PBR and a shot of Fireball in the freezer.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with only a couple ounces of antifreeze. But
just a little bit. It's just enough to take the edge off. But, it's funny. So my girlfriend's out of town this week, and we moved into this apartment. And we're actually moving all of our stuff over here, I think like next weekend or something.
Okay.
And I literally brought over like my fridge was beer, Fireball, and I had a lawn chair and a TV to play video games on. And I literally slept on a mattress on the ground. Like, that was it.
The bare essentials. That was
Literally
awesome.
all you need. That's all you need.
Oh, perfect. Oh God. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna cheers Cleveland. You know, you've got an incredible event coming up tomorrow, and the rest of the world is gonna see how incredible this city is and the renaissance that it's going through. And it's just, I'm so excited for the world to see what Cleveland has to offer. So cheers to you, City of Cleveland, and everything you've done for this event. So that's my cheer of the week.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, we'll definitely be posting some pictures online. Not me, because I'm about 535 miles away. But
you have the exact mileage down, huh?
Yeah, it is 505 miles to my parents' house, and Cleveland's like 30 miles from there. So,
are you so used to that drive now that it just doesn't even seem like anything?
Dude, it's not a drive. I could do it with my eyes closed. I probably shouldn't, but I could.
It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea, buddy.
I make that drive probably from Nashville to Cleveland, probably anywhere between 4 and 7 times a year.
Okay.
Which is good enough. I've been down here for like 8-9 years now, so.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Quite a couple drives, you know. I know where all the construction is. If you're ever driving through Nashville, I got you on construction.
When did you? So you moved down there, and did you start working for the company you work for right away, or is it?
No, I went to school down here.
Yeah. I know you went to.
Belmont.
Dylan Win. Yeah, that's
Dylan Belmont. Yeah.
Okay. Did you get the job you got right out of school, or did you have to?
No, I had a different job, a similar type of job. I had a different job. Did music out of school, and then got the job I'm currently at in, 3 years ago.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm loving it down here.
Mike is almost. Well, yeah. I mean, I'd be jealous too, dude. I mean, I'm jealous of you already living in Nashville.
I know. You have to come down here and visit.
I want to.
I will say the one thing that Nashville like kind of lacks, aside from like safe weather,
besides the natural disasters.
Well, it's kind of crazy. Like, even when we were starting the show, like, there was a tornado warning, like maybe 20 miles north of us, and it's just like, just casual Wednesday, like no need to panic. No, it's crazy. Is there's not a ton of like great, I'll say public golf courses around.
Really?
There's a lot of really nice like country clubs, different places to go if you have memberships to. But there's not a ton of like great public courses. Like Nashville has like their like kind of like the metro courses. But it's definitely lacking a little bit in that.
Okay. All right.
All right, we switched to Belly Up Fantasy Live.
Well, yeah, is Mike is almost back, guys, but apparently he's messing with the layout. He's messing with the layout. I just figured out who I want though. Like if there's a guy left on the board that I in the second round. I just figured that out. There's an edge rusher from Washington getting a lot of hype. His name is Joe Tryon.
Well, too bad Mike's not here because he's watched a lot of Washington football.
Well, yeah, he's the Washington expert of the group. So
yeah.
we are literally waiting, folks, for Mike to get back on to wrap the show. So Joey and I are just finding things to talk about. Hit us up in the chat too.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, look at this guy.
I hope so.
Look at this guy.
My God. Huh? That's so funny. So Mike's chatting us in the chat here. And we're like, we're just going to end the show. And then he hits us back and he's like, I literally am the only one that could end it. So I don't know what would happen if we just left. But
like you have to turn off live? Is that what you have to do? Like, what are you doing?
I don't know.
I don't know what's coming.
Well, you've never looked better.
And by better, you look like you've been through a bender.
If anyone from Spectrum is listening, feel free to direct message me. I will give you the address of my parents' house, and you can fix their Wi-Fi because this is. I mean, it is kind of par. It's not good internet at all.
I do.
Give your cheer and let's get out of here.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, we're back. Sorry.
Give your cheering and let's get out of here.
No, listen. First of all, I am sorry. We're gonna get out of here. We're holding my phone. This was not an internet problem. I was holding my phone over my computer, dropped it, and it like shut down my whole system.
Oh.
I dropped my phone on my laptop, and it shut down my whole system in the middle of our show.
Laptop.
Yeah, you think? What in the hell just happened? I'm sweating. I am sweating.
Yeah.
So, anyways, sorry for the delay there. By the way, I don't know how you guys answered because I panicked. But real quick, the one guy in the draft that I want on the Browns is Tommy Toglia from the Buckeyes. And I am not a Buckeyes homer, but I want that guy on the team.
Well, that makes
I don't know, man. My cheer of the week is
that makes one of 3 players I want. Yeah, one of 3 players.
See, there you go.
Tommy Togiai.
There you go.
Tommy Togiai, Joe Tryon, and you should know something about him since you're the Washington football guy. And Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore would be very nice.
Rondale Moore.
If he fell to the Browns.
And I'm panicking right now, so I called him Togliai. It's Togiai because I'm not a moron.
Togliai.
Dude, so I'm going to give my cheers of the week, and this is for anybody listening. If you haven't done this, go over to our Twitter page and sign up for this because we're going to give it away tomorrow. Tomorrow's the draft. It's our last pre-draft giveaway. So my cheer is going to go to the Northwest group that makes – I didn't know what a big company they were until I went into Rally House here in Cleveland, and all the blankets and pillows for all the professional teams are made by the Northwest group. They are the ones that are licensed to make all the blankets and pillows for the team. So I'm going to give them a cheer because tomorrow we're giving away one more blanket for an NFL team of your choice. All you got to do is go over to our Twitter page, answer the question. We'll repost it tomorrow morning. Answer the question, get it up there, and you could win a really cool blanket from the NFL team of your choice. So my cheers goes out to the Northwest group for partnering with us this whole month leading up to the draft. We've already given away 3 blankets, and we've gotten good reviews on those. So
yeah,
all right, boys.
Sure. You're soft.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Now that I'm gonna have to go take a shower. Listen, it wouldn't be right if we didn't have one technical difficulty on our first night doing a live stream. But for those of you that joined us for the live stream, we hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for participating, for commenting, for having a good time. Knots is laughing at me, which is not cool.
Totally cool.
No, it's cool.
Definitely
it's
cool.
Laugh at me. Thank you for participating. Again, as I think Joey was saying it because I was trying to listen at the same time, but stay tuned to our socials all weekend. We're going to bring you some stuff from the draft. If Chad can sneak some stuff backstage, some pictures and videos, he'll try to do it. I will try to get you pictures and videos of just downtown in the draft as well. Draft starts tomorrow, so get excited for that. Thank you to all of you that have listened, that have joined us. We had a great time with you. Check out our Garage Beers of the Week. Check out the audio for this that posts tomorrow. And otherwise, boys, unless you've got anything else.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to get out of here. Go Browns and cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers.
Oh, my God. Where's my mouse?